Hi everyone, I'm Tami from the blog Nutmeg Notebook, and this is Tuesday with Tami and sometimes Tom. And Tom's coming to sit down beside me right now.
Hello everyone.
He's going to be here on the computer and he will moderate for us. He will read your comments. So if you have comments or questions, feel free to put those in the comment section. And he'll also be there to catch all the trolls that like to leave us not nice little comments. So, and Tom's going to also chime in today and help me out. Today's episode of Tuesday with Tami is all about eating healthy away from home. So once you get it figured out at home, maybe you're not going to be home every night for dinner or every lunch, or you might not be home for breakfast sometime. And so I get a lot of questions in emails and comments on my Facebook page, my Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page, about what to do, how to eat when people are not at home. So if you would click on subscribe and tap that little bell that's next to subscribe.
Tap that little bell that's next
Oh, you always do this.
Well,
So,
I have to turn it on so
I know.
YouTube turns the sound up automatically. So as soon as I click the live button, then
It goes.
she doesn't want to listen to herself.
I don't want to listen to myself. It's disturbing. So click on subscribe, click on the little bell. And also, if you wouldn't mind sharing this video on your Facebook page or one of your group Facebook pages that you belong to help us spread the word. So I think today is going to be very informative and fun for you. So we've been plant-based since 2013. So I have a lot of years of experience of traveling, flying, road trips, and eating in restaurants. So we're going to try to cover that for you today. So let's start with restaurants first. We don't eat out a lot in restaurants, but we probably do maybe 3 times a month. We find ourselves eating at a restaurant. We're very fortunate here in Northern California that we have some vegan restaurants who have created no oil menus, because we are not alone in eating a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. And so a lot of the restaurateurs, is that how you say it?
I'll go with that.
Okay, here locally have been very kind and receptive to the requests that they've gotten from all the local people who are eating like us, and some of them have created no oil recipes. So if you don't have that where you live, a good way to start is by going on Yelp. You can check for vegan restaurants on Yelp and see what comes up. And you will also find that there will be restaurants that are not vegan that have whole food plant-based options. Now, if you look up whole food plant-based, you're probably not going to find anything because most restaurants use the terminology as vegan. So just remember that. Now, there is a website called Happy Cow, and they also have an app. The app, I believe, is $3.99, and they list all vegan restaurants. Now, just because it's a vegan restaurant, though, remember, that doesn't mean that it's healthy, because there's a lot of vegan food that is not healthy. And we do adhere to a whole food, plant-based, no oil, healthy diet. Also, there is another app and a website called Vanilla Bean. I believe that it is free, and they post all about plant-based restaurant options all over the world. So there you've got 3 different places that you can look. Another thing that we do when we're traveling is, before we go someplace, I will look up online to look and see what I can find for restaurants in the area, or food co-ops, or a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's, because we can get food at all of those that would fit into our food plan. Also, I'll go on Facebook and I'll look and see if there is a vegan society for whatever town I'm visiting. So let's say you're going to Portland, or you're going to San Francisco, or New York, wherever it is. Look and see if they have a vegan society Facebook page for the area that you're going to visit. That's a good place to post and ask for recommendations for healthier vegan food in restaurants. And then you can also find out if there's a great food co-op. A lot of the food co-ops will have nice little delis. They will have salad bars and more vegan options than you might find at other places. And some Whole Foods have more vegan options than others. Ours has a really nice salad bar. There's not much on their hot bar that we could eat, but we have a wonderful salad bar there. So you'll want to look at the menus online before you go. You can learn a lot about what they have available, and that way I can eliminate a lot of places just to begin with. Also, you can call them. Like we were in Monterey for an anniversary one year, and I found a really nice restaurant, and I called ahead and said, you know, here are my parameters. Can you fix anything for me? And they said yes. They were able to create an appetizer, a soup, a salad, an entree. The only thing they couldn't do that night was dessert. They said sometimes they have a sorbet, and they didn't have a sorbet that night. But I called a couple weeks in advance because that gave the chef an opportunity to think about what he was going to make for me with my parameters of what I could eat, because I'm also gluten-free, which, you know, that just adds a little more pressure to it. And then it gives them time also to order anything that they need to order that's special that they wouldn't normally have. So that's also just a good tip. And when you call, try to call when it's not peak hours for them. You know, call in the morning, call mid-afternoon when they're not busy rushing to get orders out, and you'll get a much better response. So I just want to check my notes here. Also, once you get to a restaurant, like I've picked a restaurant and we get there, I ask a lot of questions from my waiter to find out about the food, and if they're unsure, I ask them if they'll go to the kitchen and ask. And then if something comes out and they haven't gotten it right, I never feel bad about sending it back. And I just say, oh, you know, this wasn't supposed to have nuts, or I wanted the balsamic vinegar on the side. I didn't want the balsamic vinaigrette poured over my salad. And, you know, then they are very kind about it and say, oh, I'm sorry, and they take it back. So, and when I ask them and they go, oh, I don't think we have that, I always say, well, could you go ask? Like one time I asked about just plain balsamic vinegar, and the waiter said, oh, I don't think we have that. And I said, oh, most restaurants do. Could you go in the kitchen and ask? And sure enough, he came back and he was like, oh, you're right. We do have plain balsamic vinegar. So just remember that you can ask. If you're not satisfied with their answer, ask them to go talk to someone in the kitchen. Okay, look at the ingredients on the menu and not just the menu items. By that I mean you scan and you go, oh my gosh, I don't think there's anything here I can eat.
Again.
Okay. Look at the ingredients that they're using in the different menu items. Don't just look at the menu items, because you can see that, you know, they're using green beans here, and they have corn here, and red peppers are in this salad, and then you can pick those things and ask them to make something for you out of the things that you know that they have on the menu. And I have done that a number of times at different restaurants. You know, the salad selection, nothing quite hit it for me. And so I just said, well, I see that you have baby greens. And so, you know, I'm on a special diet, and I was wondering if you could make me a salad that I would be able to have. So, you know, could you use the baby greens and the corn and the red peppers and the salad tomatoes and some red onion? And, you know, I'll just list everything that I can have. And then it's amazing. Most of the time, they will come out with a huge, beautiful bowl full of vegetables for me. So, and I like to carry my own vinegars now. I didn't used to have these vinegars, but I'll carry my own vinegar with me now to put on the salad. But most restaurants do have a nice balsamic vinegar. You just need to make sure they understand that you want the vinegar and not the vinaigrette, because we don't want the oil. So the California Balsamics Company, I do not have an affiliate with them. I just promote them because I absolutely love their products. It's a family-owned business in Northern California, and Thomas and his wife do a beautiful job creating amazing flavored vinegars. And you can buy these small 3-ounce bottles that are perfect for travel. This can count as your 3 ounces of liquid when you're flying on a plane. And these are nice. They have a little squirt top, and I just refill these. You know, Thomas said, get the little bottles one time and then buy the big bottles to refill them. And these are fantastic to take with you. I will just pop one in a baggie and put it in my purse when we're going out to eat. And there's a teriyaki, the sweet heat. These are a couple of my favorites. The smoked is delicious. Yes?
A couple questions. Are you?
I'm ready, yeah.
Well, first of all, Rocky, yes, I did remember to take that TV down today. You're not the only one that was asking about that. So.
What was on top of the? Yeah, it's a little flat screen TV, because sometimes I like to watch the news while I'm in here batch cooking and prepping for 2 or 3 hours at a time. But he's been taking it off because he's like, that looks weird up there. It's like a big black hole.
Even some folks here in a local town at our meetup, they were asking, you know, sometimes there's this thing on top of your refrigerator and sometimes it's not, but we can't see what it is. It's simply a flat screen TV, and the way it reflects our studio lights, it looks like it's on or something.
Yeah,
so anyway, that's our kind of starting humor here. There was a question, and I'm over here trying to drop, or I'm not trying, I'm dropping the links of the things that Tammy's talking about into the description box, as she mentioned earlier. And then I pop back over and kind of catch up on your comments. But there was a question about, is the gluten-free part of your hypothyroidism?
Yes. Well, it's two things. I have a gluten sensitivity. I do not have celiac. I have one of the genes for celiac. And so I just have a gluten sensitivity, and that is associated with my hypothyroidism that I have. And so I do much better when I avoid gluten. So that's why I had started avoiding gluten.
Yeah, and then earlier she was talking about the 2 apps, the Happy Cow and the
Vanilla Bean.
The Vanilla Bean, and Beth Kramer is echoing that she likes those as well.
Yes, and Tom will post links to those.
I did on those. Those 2 are on there. Yeah.
In the description below the video, Tom will post links to everything that we talk about, and if he doesn't have time to do it while this is live, when we're done with today's show, then he'll work on getting the rest of them posted for you.
Okay, let me catch up here just real quick and then
we'll
continue. Rocky likes your cheese sauce too, by the way.
Thank you, Rocky.
Let's see. Hello everybody from all the places you are. Let's see, Australia. Oh, there's the question about the gluten-free. Baked potato from Wendy's. 4 exclamation points.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay, that's on the list. Okay, you guys are getting ahead of her.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to finish this, but that's great. So throw your ideas out there, because that helps everyone who's watching.
Okay, another valid question from Rocky. What do we think of the Beyond Beef burgers?
Yeah, I've never tasted one, so I couldn't tell you. I think that it's great that restaurants are offering that as an option for people, but as far as health goes, they're very high in fat, and if you look at the ingredients that they're made from, they're, not exactly a health food, but I think that it's good that people have the option.
It's a good transition to a plant-based diet does not include animal products. In my 1.5 long transition, relied on some products like that. That one wasn't out yet. I don't eat those anymore, but they helped me get where I am today.
You did taste it, didn't you? Taste the
Well,
Beyond?
I did eat it, and it didn't taste bad necessarily, but what bothered me is at this point in my whole food plant-based journey, it was a little bit too much like eating an animal product. And so that's kind of not where I'm at right now. And so I don't go looking for them, but I ate all of those, whatever brand those were. Tofurkey and field roast. I ate all of those sausages and fake meats in my transition. So it's great for that. I've moved past those, but as those kinds of things go, I suppose Beyond Burgers are great, and it gets people not eating animal products. We're all for that.
Yes, but as far as health goes, they're very high in fat, and we adhere to a low calorie density lifestyle, and so those are just really too high fat, definitely too high fat for me. I have problems even being plant-based. I have to really be careful about my fat intake for both weight and my cholesterol, my LDL cholesterol.
On that same note,
yes.
About what restaurants are doing, we suspect that Chipotle does put oil on their rice.
Yeah, I couldn't confirm that. I tried to look that up. Is someone asking about
yes,
Chipotle? Yeah. There's,
Pat is asking about Chipotle.
I'm not sure. I did go to their website and I tried to find it. I know that they do use a lot of soybean oil. It looks to me like their rice has oil on it, but a friend of ours here locally said he went and he asked and they told him that it didn't. So I haven't actually been to the store, to a restaurant to ask myself. So I'm not sure. To me, it looks like it does have oil in it, and I haven't been to one in such a long time that I don't know, because I haven't been there to ask. And I couldn't find out on their website. I couldn't find where that information was, so I'm not sure. So let me carry on with this. So when we eat out, a lot of times we do like to go to Whole Foods and do their salad bar. They have an amazing salad bar. It is like, right now it's about $8.99 a pound, at least where we live. So if I know for sure that we're gonna go there ahead of time, one thing that I do just to bulk it up but not have to pay $8.99 a pound for everything is I will take a Yukon Gold potato and I will season it. This is Mrs. Dash garlic and herb seasoning, but you could use whatever seasoning you like. I also happen to eat a low sodium diet, and I will just go ahead and prep this ahead of time. And then sometimes we will also, I'll do some for Tom and some for me, and then sometimes we will also take a little container of some beans from home to add to our salad, just to add that starch, because sometimes they have quinoa, sometimes they'll have a little bit of starch, something that we can have, and a lot of times they don't. And so the vegetables themselves just are not going to be enough to be satiating for us. So we will doctor it up with the potatoes. And I found these really awesome bags on Amazon that are they're like little mini coolers. And see, they're insulated. This particular one is no longer available, but they have a couple of others, and we'll link to those for you. And I'll just pop in one of these little blue ice frozen, I never know what these are called, but these little cooler ice.
Little flat blue ice cooler thingies.
That's it. Okay.
Cooler packs.
Cooler packs, I think. Packs. Yeah. And then I'll put the potatoes and the beans in here, and what I like is that it will stay cold, and it's small enough that I can pop this into my purse, and I've got room in here to put the little bottle of dressing, and then I'm not making a big show because I'm not walking in with, I have my cooler bag too in the closet. Well, the other one that looks like a purse that's in the laundry room.
Oh.
Maybe you can go grab it.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Either in the cupboard above the broom closet or the big door.
Okay.
So we'll send him off to look at that. So anyway, we'll link to these. They come in a couple different sizes, and I just like them because I can toss this into my purse, and I'm not making a big deal out of bringing my own stuff, but even if we're going to a sit-down restaurant, sometimes if I know I'm just going to be able to get a salad there, then I'll go ahead and bring a couple things to add to it just to make it heartier. And nobody cares. The waiter doesn't care because I'm buying something and I'm paying for the salad. And the people that we're dining with, they don't care that I, add a potato to it or some quinoa or whatever I happen to have. So that works really good for us. So here locally, we have the Whole Foods and we have a food co-op. We used to have a Ruby Tuesdays that had a really nice salad bar, but they closed. So you can also perhaps find a steakhouse. And at a steakhouse, if they have a salad bar, hit the salad bar. You can order a great big baked potato. They probably have prepped it ahead of time and either coated it with vegetable shortening, oil, or butter and baked it. So just eat the inside, and of course tell them, no butter, no sour cream on that. And then ask for a side of steamed vegetables. So we did go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Someone had given Tom a gift certificate there. So we went there. And so as soon as we sat down, I told the waiter, and I had looked at the menu ahead of time, but I told the waiter, I follow a whole food plant-based diet. And he said, oh, okay, well, wow, and you're here. And I was like, yeah. And so he helped me, pick a few vegetables, and then I also got a baked potato. So, that it worked. Was it my favorite meal? No, but it worked. So I know that I'm going to eat delicious, amazing food at home. And so if I have to go to a restaurant occasionally and I don't get an amazing meal, it's not going to hurt me, because I get to eat really amazing food all the time. So someone did mention fast food at Wendy's. You can get a baked potato there. I have not gone and done that. I used to, before I went plant-based, I used to go there and get their baked potato with all the stuff on it. But you can do that. A lot of people will buy 2 of them and then maybe put some hot sauce on it, or top it with, if you've got the vinegars with you, you can do that. At Subway, you can get a chopped salad. I've had it. I wasn't crazy about it. It was like iceberg lettuce and a few vegetables and some pepperoncinis or something, because there wasn't anything else other than the vegetables that I could get on it. But if I was in a pinch and that was all I could get, okay, maybe I would do that. If you go to a Japanese restaurant, you can get like the California roll. You can order some edamame. And you just have to be really careful because they use usually a little bit of sugar in the rice that they use. So if you're avoiding sugar, you need to be aware of that. And of course, soy sauce is very high in sodium. And if you're gluten-free, then you can't have the soy sauce. In a Chinese restaurant, which would be my preference, is you can ask for rice, and some of them now have brown rice. Some of them charge extra for that, and ask them if it's just steamed, because usually it's just steamed. And then I'll ask for steamed vegetables to go with that. And then I'll take my teriyaki balsamic and I'll just sprinkle some of this over the top, and then I have a really satisfying, delicious meal. So that works for me. And when you're going to the restaurants, if you want to take like a no salt seasoning like Table Tasty or 21 Seasoning Salute, you can buy small little spice jars at like Bed Bath & Beyond, Pier 1. No, it's not called Pier 1 Imports. What's it called? Oh, it'll come to me in a second. But at a kitchen store, or if you have some small containers, seasoning containers, and it gets empty, save it, wash it, and then you can fill it with a smaller bottle and take some little seasonings with you. Yes. Cost Plus, that's a store I was trying to think of.
Cost Plus, yeah. I was going to say the World Store, where they have everything from furniture to whatever else. Question about, since you're talking about these kind of amla powder, do you use any amla powder capsule tablets for cholesterol lowering?
Yeah, I used to. I did that a couple years ago. I would use the powder in some tea in the morning. So I would take my hibiscus tea and put some amla powder in that. And the amla powder is really bitter, so I do have capsules now, and it's much easier to take the capsules. But yeah, that is a good thing. Now, Mexican restaurants. At home, you know, we can make amazing oil-free Mexican food, and I have a ton of recipes on the blog for those. I don't know how many videos we have on that, but I have a lot of recipes on the blog for Mexican food. Now, when you go out to eat, you have to be very careful, because here in Northern California, we have a lot of mom and pop Mexican restaurants, and those beans can have lard in them. They can have oil or some other kind of fat in them. The rice, they often use chicken broth in making the rice. So you have to ask a lot of questions. And a lot of times it's very high in sodium. So you want to be really careful about that. We're fortunate that we have a couple of restaurants here that have Mexican food, and one of them has an oil-free options, because the owner of the restaurant is vegan and oil-free, and so, you know, she's able to make different things for us, which is really nice. And then we have another restaurant that's vegetarian but has a lot of vegan options, and they will make oil-free tacos for me. So you know, it's really nice if you can get to know some of the owners of the smaller restaurants and establish a friendship with them. Tell them how you eat and ask them, you know, is there any way you can make something for me? And you will be amazed at how accommodating that they can be. And, you know, when the chef creates something for you that's oil-free and you like it, they just are so proud of that, of being able to help you be able to have something that's healthy. Yes.
One of our viewers, I think Laura, if I'm reading this, thank you, looked up on a nutrition calculator on Chipotle's website, and it shows that the rice, beans, and sofritas all contain rice bran oil.
Okay.
So it's very, very light, but it's there.
So that was the beans, the rice, and the vegetables? What'd you say?
Chipotle's website shows that rice, beans, and sofritas all contain rice bran.
Oh, and the sofritas.
Although they're vegetables.
You said they've got oil in them.
Sure. Yeah, I don't get them because I think they have oil.
They're dripping in oil. Okay, thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, and Kay and Bill from Washington say hi.
Oh,
and
hi.
she wishes she could walk with you on Thursday, but they're in Washington.
Hi, you guys. That's great. Okay, so let's see. I got to find where I am. So that's what we do on restaurants. So look them up ahead of time, call and ask questions, talk to your waiter, and check those two apps, the Happy Cow app and the Vanilla Bean app, and see what you can find. And then also Yelp. I have found some places on Yelp as well. I have just done a search for vegan options and put the town in, and I have been able to find some options that way. Now, this is a bigger version of these little coolers. So here's the bigger version, and you see how this looks like a purse. So if you want to take your snacks into the movie theater, this works really good for that. Tom, I'll have you link to some of these on Amazon.
Afterwards, okay.
Yeah, this is Zaza brand, and I got this actually from Costco. Costco had these a few years ago, but they also sell them on Amazon. And so you can see how part of it is insulated here, and then part of it is more like a regular purse. And so you can take this in with you, and nobody knows that you've got a little cooler bag. It just looks like a purse, which I think that's so great. And then, if you're going to a conference, you have a work meeting, whatever it is, then you can take your food, have it stay cold, because you can drop one of those little freezer cooler blue ice things in there and have it stay nice and cold for you, and nobody will be the wiser. And people really aren't paying attention to what you're eating. They're looking at their plate and thinking about what they're eating. So I just figure, if I had food allergies, I would, or if I was diabetic, I would have to be very careful about my food, and I would not feel bad about doing this, taking food into a restaurant or asking a lot of questions and asking for what I want. And my health is really important to me, and so I feel like it's worth it to, make a little bit of fuss. And I just say, oh, I'm probably going to be your worst nightmare today. And I kind of make a little joke out of it at first, just to put them at ease and let them know that, I'm being kind of lighthearted about it, but I am serious. And, then you give them a really good tip and everybody's happy at the end of the day. So that's what we do for going to restaurants. And now I want to talk about when you're traveling. So we've done some road trips. We've done like 2-week road trips with eating this way since we adopted this lifestyle. And it can be done. It takes a little bit of planning. So you can't just take off and not think about it a little bit. It does take a little bit of planning. So we take food with us when we're going on a road trip. And the way we do that is we take coolers. So if we're doing a day trip, let me grab my small one. So this is an e-bag. I have a video all about it, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But like my chopped salad containers, which are like this, will fit inside of it. It's well insulated. It holds a lot. My little vinegars can go in the front. And then this part is a nice little place to put like silverware and seasonings and tea bags. And then this part is insulated, and it will hold a whole day's worth of food. They come in different colors.
I'll link
to it.
The video that covers all of that.
And then we just use the little freezer cooler packs to keep our food cold. These were designed for flight attendants, and so they fit underneath the seat in front of you on an airplane if you want to take it on traveling with you. It has a little zip out pocket on one end that my water bottle will fit down in, and I love it. So day trips, I take it with me when I'm going to my daughter's house for the day, and it works great. So yes.
Tamara is asking, what do we get in Italian restaurants? And the answer is
nothing.
We don't find ourselves there.
Yeah,
No.
well, for one, I'm gluten-free. They do have some gluten-free pasta. Most of them do now. They have that as an option. I mean, if we were going and people insisted on going there, family or friends insisted, I would probably just get a salad. If you do eat pasta, you can get marinara with your with just some, ask them if they have like whole wheat pasta, and you could get some marinara. But see, I'm gluten-free, so I can't even have that. So anyway, that's maybe a minestrone soup. If they have a minestrone soup, just know that they probably use oil to saute the vegetables. So it just depends, if you're oil-free or not. So, and then just look on their website ahead of time, check out their menu, and then if you have questions, give them a call. So we take food with us. We pack like a little mini kitchen with us, and when we're booking our hotel rooms, or we really like to do Airbnb, because then we can get a little kitchen, and that's nice because then you don't have to take as many things with you. Or we try to find hotel rooms that have like a fridge and a microwave and a countertop. But I will tell you that I have cooked in the smallest hotel room that we've ever stayed in that had no counter space, and I actually set up the ironing board to be my work surface because there was no room in this little tiny hotel room that we stayed in. And it's because we decided to stay longer. We hadn't booked ahead where we were at, and so we had to take what we could get. So I can make it work almost anywhere that we go. But if you can plan ahead and get an Airbnb or a hotel room that has at least a mini fridge and a microwave, then you can make it work. And we will take our cooler. Do you want to show them our cooler first and talk about, because we have a big cooler that we've graduated to. When we started out, we've had a couple of coolers that plug into the power outlet in the car, and they have a fan on them, but they're thin-walled and they didn't hold the cold.
They weren't well insulated. They were just like air gapped inside, and then the fan is running constantly. And then if you are on a serious road trip and you've got a bunch of luggage and clothes packed in there, then you have to make sure that the clothing isn't blocking the air outlet of the fan. And then if you get the cord plugged in backwards, it actually turns it into a heater instead of a cooler.
And if you were hiking, if we're on like a 6-hour hike that day,
there's no ice in it.
There's no ice in it, and then it's sitting in our hot car, getting all hot. And so we graduated from that.
Yeah, so we're not recommending those. Then we next went to a higher, a thick-walled, insulated Coleman cooler, but the walls were really, really thick, and like half of the inside was taken up by the thickness of the walls. And then what they're making now, of course, there's all the am I still on camera? There's all the Yetis, and you can spend a lot of money on coolers today. But this one it's big. It's a 70 quart, and it's in the picture here.
Yeah.
And so it holds, we can go for a week eating out of this thing, and it does hold ice upwards of 5 days. It's thin-walled, but it's some kind of space-age insulation there that really holds the cold inside. And so this is our favorite go-to. Now, you may have noticed the lid is off. When we're working in and out of the back seat of the car, we usually take our car on our long road trips because it rides better. So it's a lot easier to get in and out of these big things if you unscrew the hinge. The hinges are here, because you can just take this off and set it aside, rummage around, get your food, and then put it back on. So that's just a little hack.
Yeah, that way the lid's not falling on you.
Yeah, and it's just easier to manage that way.
And this holds a ton of food. So this is the one that we like to take with us on the long road trips.
And they have a blue. They have a blue one on Amazon. These depend on where you buy this and what
They're
color.
Different colors.
It's between $50 and $70 more or less.
Yeah, and it was totally worth it. It takes up quite a bit of space, but since it's just the two of us traveling, we can afford to give it that much space in the back seat, and then we can pretty much eat out of it the whole time. And if we can find a couple of vegan restaurants that have healthy food, then we'll treat ourselves to that. But if we can't, then we don't worry about it, because we can take plenty of food with us. So I'll show you some of the things that we like to take. So, well, first I want to say we take our water bottles with us. And so we'll buy like a big gallon of Crystal Geyser or something to refill these with, instead of using individual plastic bottles. That way we have good water wherever we go, because we're really spoiled here in Northern California. We have really great water where we're at home, which we do filter. But so we do that when we go. So I'm going to set this out of the way.
A little side question before we do the next thing. Is there a resource, since you've talked a lot about gluten-free throughout various programs, is there a resource that is it like a list of what you can eat and not eat when you're gluten-free?
Yeah, if you look, just Google it, and you'll find quite a few. So it's wheat, barley, rye, triticale, and I think there's one other. So anything that's a derivative of wheat, and then there's lots of condiments that have the gluten in it, and soy sauce is one of those. So it's pretty much a lot of processed food has gluten in it, and just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean that it's healthy either. So you have to be just really careful about that. But when you're eating whole food, plant-based food from the garden, you don't have to worry about it. You can have everything, which is really fantastic. So here's some things that we like to take with us on road trips. So we like to take bell peppers cut up, and of course apples, because that's really super simple. And we like the sugar snap peas, and I go and get bigger bags of these, and our Costco used to have them, but they haven't had them lately. And then of course baby carrots. So we love to have these are like snacks. So if we're you know, we have another 50 or 100 miles to go before we're going to be able to eat, we can snack on these goodies. And then, of course, potatoes. So I will oven roast our potatoes ahead of time or bake them 400 degrees. I have a whole video on how to do it. And we'll take, these are Japanese sweet potatoes and Yukon Golds in a couple different sizes. And these we like as just little snacks, even cold. We love our potatoes. And the same with the Japanese sweet potatoes. We're perfectly happy to have these cold. And sometimes that's what we'll eat. We will eat a couple of potatoes, maybe a Japanese and a Yukon, and some of the raw veggies. And, you know, by the time we get to our destination, we're full and we go, okay, you know, we really don't need much else because we're full. And then another thing that I make are the muffins, the quinoa banana oat muffins. I'll make these, and I pulled these out of the freezer because Sweet Pea was here with me over the weekend and we baked muffins. And so I will freeze the muffins and we'll put the muffins in the cooler, and then we'll take these with us as well. And because they're just full of healthy ingredients, this is a great little breakfast and it's a wonderful snack. And I can even have one of those in some of the potatoes and call it a meal. Then Tom has his cereal because he eats breakfast. And so these are just his oats and hemp seeds and chia seeds in here. And so he'll pre-measure out what he wants in little baggies for however many days we're going to be gone. And then we will buy the shelf-stable almond milk, the unsweetened, and we'll take this with us, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated until it's opened. And once it's opened, it's small, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of room in the cooler.
It's square because so it
and
packs
and
well.
It packs nice because of its being square. And then, you know, with our hotel room with a refrigerator or an Airbnb, then it can go in the fridge while we're staying someplace. And if we have some left over, then it can go in the cooler on the way home. And it works out great. And so we'll take, you know, a couple of these. Just depends on how many days we're going to be gone. And that works really well. And then, of course, we take the vinegars with us. I'll take the salt-free stone ground mustard. Well, I want to say it's no salt added. And then, of course, some of my seasonings, my favorite seasonings, I'll take those with us. And then the jackfruit, because this is also a shelf-stable product, and these don't have anything added to them. They are just young jackfruit. So one is diced and one is shredded, and they're in like a foil pack. And so, you know, to save room, you can go ahead and take them out of the box and just have them be in the foil pack as well. And then you can make these Mexican or whatever you want to do with them, and they'll just bulk up a salad, or you can add beans and potatoes or beans and rice to them and make a simple little meal out of them in your hotel room. Add some salsa to them and you've got a great little meal. Then I like to take the little boxes of beans, and I get these at Whole Foods, but you know what, even Target sells beans in these little boxes, and then you don't need a can opener. So the sides pop up, the top pops up, and you can bend this back and forth and get it so that it will tear off. But I just take a pair of kitchen scissors with me. Oh, because I was going to tell you, I pack a little mini kitchen with us. So I'll take a couple sharp knives, I'll take a cutting board and some kitchen towels. I'll take some paper towels with us.
A small pressure pot.
Yeah, a little bottle of soap, dish soap, so that we can wash up some dishes, you know, so just some utensils. We'll take some paper plates and cups. We'll also take some reusable, like for Tom's breakfast. We'll take a plastic container that has a lid on it so he can just wash that out. And you know, that it's super easy. I don't take a strainer. I just kind of hold the lid shut on this and drain the liquid off of these. And we've taken these on hikes with us to add to a vegan dehydrated meal and heated it up in our little flash pot.
Yeah.
Flash pot on the trail, you know, and these are awesome. You can also find some tomatoes that come in containers like this, so you don't have have to, the Pomi brand, P-O-M-I, you can buy those tomatoes, and they're in a container like this as well, which are just so super for traveling. So that works out really well. And then, of course, I showed you these in another video on the quick and easy meals. And these are shelf-stable rice and quinoa. And so I got these at Sprouts. So they don't have anything added to them. They're organic and they're absolutely delicious. And this is about 2 servings in each one. And so you can pack these. They don't take up a lot of room, which is just perfect. So what I'll do with these is I'll just add, like you could add the jackfruit to them. You can add the beans to them. If you want more liquid in them, you know, take some of the tomatoes and add some tomatoes to them, and then a little bit of seasoning, and you've got a meal right there. Super easy. Then we have, I haven't, yeah, I did this.
Okay.
We'll move this, but I want to get to that.
And while we're doing that, did you say that the soy sauce has gluten in it? Is that why you don't use soy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does.
We didn't have that question.
Soy sauce does have gluten in it. Plus, it is just so loaded with sodium that it's really not a healthy food. But it all depends on, you know, if you do sodium, we just do a low sodium diet. So it just depends on what your health needs are and your requirements. This I want to show Tom. Tom found these because, you know, he likes to take a banana with us.
Well, that goes with my cereal.
It does. I forgot to say that too, because he likes to put a banana in his cereal, and he also likes blueberries. But you see, it's a little holder for a banana, so a banana doesn't get bruised and smashed. And we have a couple of these, and even if we've had sometimes we have a long skinny sweet potato, and he'll use this for a long skinny sweet potato to put in the backpack when we're going on a hike.
Yeah, no, bananas just never fare very well.
They don't hold up well on the road, but you know, usually if you're staying in a hotel and they have continental breakfast, they usually have fresh fruit there, and you can get a banana or an apple. And you know, certainly when you're on the road, one place to go is a grocery store. So you know, we always look ahead to where's the nearest Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, health food store, or a grocery store. And if we're staying in a hotel or an Airbnb, we'll just ask the proprietors, you know, to point us in the right direction, or our smartphones will lead us there. And you can, if you're out and you get hungry, I mean, you can go to a grocery store and go to the produce aisle and get plenty of good stuff
There's
to
food
eat.
there.
There's food there. I mean, people forget. You can buy a banana, an orange, and an apple, and you know, and you can eat it. If you have some water with you, you know, in the parking lot, you can rinse things off. And
the produce department is full of entrees. We don't think of the produce department as side dishes anymore. That's our main course aisle.
And so much can be prepped ahead. You can buy a veggie tray and toss the dressing. You know, they have so much prepped for you that's already clean and ready to go. And you can buy a fruit tray, or you know. And if we go someplace where there's a Costco, we've gone to Southern California before and stayed in a hotel room and run to Costco, and you know, I bought a big fruit bowl because it's already prepped, and then it could just fit in our refrigerator. You have another question?
Soy milk. You didn't bring up soy milk when we were talking about travel milk there. Is that just because it's higher fat that we don't use it?
Yeah, we don't use it, but our granddaughter does. Our granddaughter drinks soy milk.
But it's not a gluten, you know, soy sauce has gluten in it, but soy milk does not.
No, it's just higher in fat, and you know, which is great for our grandkids. And so we do keep some soy milk, shelf-stable soy milk, on hand for when our little sweet pea is here, and she has that. But you know, I gain weight really easily. I was a yo-yo dieter for about 40 years, and once you've done that, when you get to your goal weight, you need about, according to Dr. Roseanne Oliveira, you need about 25% fewer calories than someone your same size who's never yo-yo dieted. And so I gain weight really easily. So rather than consuming small amounts of higher fat foods that are higher calorie density, I'd rather have a large amount of low calorie density foods, because then my tummy is full and I feel satiated and I don't feel deprived. And that's why, you know, I pretty much stick to items that are 600 calories or less per pound according to the calorie density charts, and I'm very happy with that. But if you can handle the extra fat in the soy milk, that's great. There's nothing wrong with the soy milk.
Is there a standard baked bean video on our channel where we've just done baked beans?
No, we don't have a video on it. There is a delicious baked bean recipe on the blog that's actually made in a crock pot, and I haven't converted it to doing it in the Instant Pot, but it uses carrot juice, which adds a really beautiful color and a sweetness to it. And it's not my original recipe. The original recipe came from someone named Barb that was on the Dr. Furman's message board, and then I just changed the seasonings in it to suit what we used to like as our sad version of that. So so you can look that up, or I can help Tom find it, and we can put it on the underneath the video in the description.
Okay.
Now I want to talk to you about this nifty little...
You haven't covered sweet potatoes, and you haven't done potatoes yet.
Oh, well, I talked a little bit about them, but I'm going to tell them how we make them in this little oven when we're going down the road, when we're driving.
Okay. On that theme, someone has noticed on other videos that we put them in the air fryer and they come out pretty crispy. And this is a question that was quite a bit earlier up in the thread, so I've been saving it until she got to potatoes.
Okay.
The charred skin and stuff, and doesn't that taste burnt?
No, it doesn't, because, well, it depends on how far you let it go, and I don't usually let mine char. Now today, when I post my salad from lunch, I was busy buying some airline tickets and I got distracted, and the sweet potato got done in the Breville Smart Oven Air, and I didn't come and get it out, and normally I take it out as soon as it's done, so it sat in there in the heat, and it did get a little crispy. Crispier than I usually care for it to get. So you can leave it in there as long as you like, and if you're very sensitive to a burnt flavor, well, it normally 20 minutes at 400 degrees, it has no burnt flavor, and it's not like charred. There might be like a little edge that might get a little black on it, but it doesn't taste charred. But you can leave it in as long as you like, and if you don't like it to be that done, you can pull it out much sooner than that. So we love potatoes, we love our sweet potatoes, we love our Yukon Gold potatoes, and when we're traveling, we really would miss them if we didn't have those. So we make it happen. You can, of course, cook them in a microwave. I just don't think they taste as good in a microwave as they do when they're baked or slow roasted. So we were at oh, I know where we found this. There was a plant-based trucker that I used to follow on Facebook and on Instagram, and he's no longer posting, but he posted about this really cool Road Pro oven, and he was using this in his semi-truck, and I just thought, oh, that is the ticket for road trips for us, and so we bought it, and we have used it so much on our road trips. So what it does, it is electric. It uses the power outlet that you have in your car, and you can buy these little foil liners because you don't want to put your food directly in here. This is also some kind of like aluminum. So they sell these little foil liners, and what Tom does is, you see how it's kind of corrugated, and so he'll spread this pleated, and so he'll spread this out, smoosh it out, and he'll make it fit nicely so it'll hold more for us. Now, if you don't want your food to touch the aluminum foil, then you can line it with parchment paper. And I like to make kind of like a little casserole for us, so I'll either use the rice or I'll use Yukon Gold potatoes that we have baked, or if we've been traveling for a while and run out of them, I'll end up making them either in a microwave, or we take our Instant Pot with us, and so we'll cook them in the Instant Pot. Then I'll dice these up and I'll put them in the pan, and I will add beans and corn. So we'll go to a local store and we'll buy a bag of frozen corn, and I'll add corn to it, and then I'll add some salsa to it, and then we will just close this little bad boy up. When we get in the car, we'll plug it in and it will cook. And so in about 2.5 hours or so, it'll be steaming hot, and I'll take some fresh cilantro too in baggies with us, and some green onions, and then we'll each have a bowl and we'll scoop it out into our bowl, and if I have fresh limes, we'll squirt fresh lime over it.
What's
and
especially fun is you're going down the road, because we've done some, rice, rice, beans, and salsa and
that's
corn in
another
here.
one.
The smell in the car, it's like you're in this kitchen and you're going down the road, and the smell keeps getting better and better and
It
better.
does.
So
It's so much fun. And then, sometimes we'll do this if we're driving to a trailhead for a hike. And then when we get to the trailhead, we'll have a nice hot meal in here that we can eat. A couple years ago, when we were coming home from the Vegas Live, Chef AJ Ultimate Weight Loss Vegas Live program, what I did is we went to Whole Foods in Vegas and we bought sweet potatoes. And like these, we bought Japanese sweet potatoes and regular sweet potatoes. And then we filled this thing up as full as it would, however many it would hold. We filled it up and we plugged it in. And then we were like that was in the morning when we left Vegas. And then at lunchtime, we were in some town in the desert, someplace.
Hawthorne, Nevada.
Okay. And so we stopped there. We found a little park and we stopped there, and we had the most amazing hot, fresh sweet potatoes for our lunch. And then we had some fruit and some muffins left over, and that was our lunch, and it was absolutely delicious, because that was a little tiny town and there was no place there to eat where we could have gotten anything close to being healthy or as delicious as what we had. So this works really well. Yes?
You may have mentioned before, but you just said it again, fruit. We're not showing a lot of fruit up on the counter here, but in that cooler is
We'll take
variety of
Yes.
grapes and apples
It just
and
depends
peaches
on-
and whatever's.
Yeah, it just depends on what time of year it is and what we can take. But we always take apples with us, because that's something that we can eat that doesn't make a lot of mess, and I'll pre-wash them ahead of time, and so that everything's ready to go. I'll bag up, I'll make baggies of grapes for us. I mean, it just depends on what fruit is in season. So if we have, like this time of year, I would take a cantaloupe and cut up a cantaloupe and put that in a container, and watermelon, and then we can replenish that if we're going to be gone, let's say for a week or 2 weeks, and we're not traveling in an RV, we're traveling in our car, and we hike, and so this is the kind of food that we take with us hiking too. And I love to make I have a zesty quinoa black bean salad recipe on the blog. I have a delicious tabbouleh. We like those kinds of salads to take with us too when we travel, and we love those for our day hiking trips too. We'll put them in a flat container with greens on the bottom, and it makes a great lunch.
What size Instapot are we taking on the road? Is
Okay.
the question.
Okay, let me grab it.
That's from Kay Pillow.
Okay, let me show you. So we take the 6 quart, and I'll tell you why. Because I can do so many things in here. So in the 6 quart, we can buy corn on the cob. I can cook corn on the cob in here. If they're too long, you can cut them in half. And you can get quite a few in here. You can also do potatoes in here. And so if we run out of the food that I've prepped ahead of time, then I can cook just about everything in here. If we want a bunch of vegetables for a side dish, you can turn this to saute. Do I have it out the front? Yeah. So you can turn this to saute, and you can saute in it. You can, saute an onion. You can saute bell peppers. You can saute mushrooms in here. And so you can make your vegetables, you can make quinoa in here, you can make rice in here, you can cook the potatoes, you can cook the corn. You know, if you're staying like in a cabin or an Airbnb and you're going to be there multiple days, you know, you can go ahead and pre-measure out the lentils, let's say, for a chili. And you can take your seasonings and put all of your seasonings in a bottle for whatever it is you're going to make. And then when you get there, all you have to do is add the water and your lentils. And if you pre-chop the vegetables, you could have those to go, or you can use dehydrated vegetables and you can throw them in here, and then you can make fresh chili or soup at your destination. And we always take some empty containers so that if we make something and we have leftovers, that we're able to pack it up and put it in the cooler. And now, since we have the new crisp lid that's by Milthy, this is a nice little portable air fryer that turns your 6-quart or 8-quart pressure cooker into an air fryer. So now we won't be missing out on our air fried
sweet potatoes, or
or
smashed potatoes,
right,
or
French fries,
or grab one of your frozen veggie burgers and let it thaw and fry that up.
Yeah,
So
that's another thing that we take too, is I'll make veggie burgers and I will wrap them individually and I will freeze them, and then we'll take frozen veggie burgers with us too. So we'll start out in the cooler with quite a few things that are frozen, which really helps to keep everything cold. And then Tom will double bag some ice cubes, a lot of ice cubes, which, you know, if you're staying in a hotel, you can easily use the ice machine to replenish that, or you can, you know, stop at a gas station or a 7-Eleven and buy more ice to put in it. So we take the 6-quart with us because it'll hold a lot and we can do so many things with it. And remember to take some utensils with you. You know, you're going to need a spatula or a wood spoon. You're going to need something to serve things up with. And then, of course, you've got to have something that you can wash everything with. And sometimes I have to use the bathtub, you know, to wash things in. But the pot of the Instant Pot makes for a nice dish pan. So you can put your dish soap in there, run the hot water in there, and then you can wash all the other dishes in the stainless steel pot. So, yes.
a lot of people talk about taking the small pressure pot.
Yes, the 3-quart.
Just because it's small. If somebody's flying, we hear about people taking that. But we have traveled with this one because for the two of us, allows us to cook for two.
Yeah, we haven't traveled with the Milthy yet, the crisp lid, but we've been using it here at home and we really like it. It works well, and we can provide, we have an affiliate link for that, and we can provide the link for that. What I like about this, because it's two of us, is this holds plenty of potatoes or corn or the bigger stuff. But you know, if you're not gonna make soup, then you could get by with taking the 3-quart, because we also have the 3-quart, and certainly it takes up a lot less space and much easier to take on the plane. Now AJ does travel with a 6-quart. She has the 3-quart now, so I think she takes the 3-quart when she flies now, but she used to take the 6-quart. It will fit underneath the seat in front of you. It will fit in a great big bag, and TSA will let this through. So that's another thing. When you fly, you have to be careful about the food that you take too. So what else do you have, Hen?
Earlier, and I'm not sure where you were talking about jackfruit, and so the question, and I'm sorry, don't know how to pronounce the name here.
I'm going to get this out of the way.
Could you talk a little bit more about jackfruit and how you use it to create main dishes? We've never had it, and it's a foreign food to us. Well, I never knew what jackfruit was either. It's like we saw it in the stores, and it was, what is that?
Yeah, I haven't blogged about it yet. I've been experimenting with it a little bit myself, and I haven't bought it fresh and done that, because this is the young jackfruit, and young jackfruit isn't sweet. It's super low in calories. So it's just kind of a fun thing. It has, in half a cup, it has 40 calories, 0 fat, 0 trans fats, 0 cholesterol. It has naturally just 10 milligrams of sodium, and it has 9 grams total of carbohydrates and 7 grams of fiber. So, I mean, it's a nice little carby fruit for us, and it has a lot of fiber in it, and it has 2 grams of protein in half a cup.
So it's more of a recent find for us as well.
Yeah, it's a recent find for us as well, and I haven't blogged about it, but I've been using it, and we did eat out at a vegan restaurant on Sunday, and where she offers no oil, and they made tostadas out of it that were absolutely delicious. So it's kind of bland on its own, kind of think like, like tofu's kind of bland. It's kind of bland on its own, so you really just have to season it, and you can buy it some places frozen, and then you can get it like this. Amazon has it. We have it on our Amazon page, both ways. One's diced and one is shredded, and it just gives you, it looks like shredded pork or shredded chicken, or the diced one looks like diced pork or diced chicken. And so it has kind of a meaty chew to it.
I think that's why it's gained popularity, because of its texture, and then you flavor it however you want. Okay,
yeah,
great.
And so it needs, like, I saute onions and garlic and peppers and chopped up, and then add the packet to that, and then I'll add my seasonings. So if I want it to be Mexican, I'll add, cumin and garlic powder and jalapeno powder, or a fresh jalapeno, and some diced canned tomatoes, and then you have a really delicious, like, Mexican shredded meat for tacos or enchiladas or nachos. And so, yeah, it's just kind of fun. So hopefully I'll nail down some recipes and post those soon, but just buy some and have fun playing with it, because it's kind of a fun little thing to have. Yes.
Okay, a couple questions from Michael. My favorite veggie burger is the one that Tami makes and keeps in the freezer. And I mentioned there's a blog post about that.
No, there isn't.
Oh.
So, we really like Chef AJ's that are in her book, the Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. Those are really good. And I have another one, but I just haven't had a chance to get it posted.
It's on the to-do list. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the to-do list. We just don't have enough time.
Okay. And
so many recipes, not enough time.
And speaking of recipes, Michael, if you'll look at our most recent 2 recipes on the blog, you will find a new print format. Our software engineer son was here last weekend, and we did some online work, and we put in a new WordPress plugin that allows us to do the recipes the way you're asking. So we do now have that. It is only on the 2 most recent posts. We have to actually go back through all of them and copy and paste them all into the new format, where you've got a 1-page print with one nice little picture. Ingredients are all there. So we have just recently turned that corner, and now we have a lot of
behind the scenes work
to catch up all of the previously posted recipes onto the new format. So thank you. We were getting that comment a lot, and
we were aggravated with it too, because even though they're my recipes, I like to have a printed copy. I don't know, I just don't like working off the computer or off my phone. I like to have everything in 3-ring binders. So I feel everyone's pain about printing the recipes, and just know that now we have a program that will make it easier. It's just going to take us a while.
All future recipes will be that way, and then we'll be catching up on the old ones. Please be patient. There's a lot going on right now.
So you can print them right now. You click on print at the bottom of the blog post, and then you have to highlight all the areas that you don't want to
all the pictures
print.
in particular.
So when you put your cursor over any of the information, the pictures or the text that you don't want, a trash can shows up, and you click on that for the print function, and you can eliminate everything except for just the recipe ingredients. Or you can copy and paste the recipe ingredients and directions, and then transfer them either to an email to yourself, or if you have Word on your computer, put them in Word, and then you can print them and not waste paper by having everything on the post print.
When we first converted to the new website at the beginning of the year, our millennial software engineer son said, well, why are they wanting to print them? So
Yeah, because like our son and daughter who are millennials, they were like, why would you print recipes?
And we both want to have a piece of paper
and
in
we
our
want
hands.
to, yeah, and they're like, you just work off your phone or you just work off your laptop or your iPad. Hey,
So-
would you go get the Mama Sezz?
She's using the paper here.
Would
yeah.
you go grab a couple of the Mama Sezz
I
from
will
the
do
freezer?
that.
We were going to do that before we started and then we didn't.
And the search function is that we do have a search function. If you go to recipes, to the recipe tab up at the bottom, the recipes, are they searchable within the recipe categories or you search by category?
There's a search. Well, if you click on recipes at the top of the blog, you'll get a whole navigation menu. And so you can search by type of food like Italian, Mediterranean, Mexican. You can search by the appliance that's used to make them. You can look at slow cooker, pressure cooker, air fryer recipes.
But the master search box on the home page, on the blog page, will search the entire blog for anything you put in there.
Or you can Google. You can go to Google and you can put in Nutmeg Notebook Alfredo sauce, and Google will take you right to the page as well. So there are some other options. So we're running over. We usually like to end at an hour, but I see it's been an hour and 10 minutes already. But great questions. We're really happy that your guys are asking questions. I wanted to talk to you about when you travel by air as well. And I wanted to show you just quickly some dehydrated things that are just fun for travel. So at Trader Joe's, I like to get the Just Beets. And these are just that. They're dehydrated beets that are crispy like a chip. And I love these with some hummus, just a regular hummus. I can even just snack on them plain. I just think they're really great. So I do keep these around. I like to keep one in my lunch box. And they're great for travel because they're a nice little crunchy snack that is healthy. Then there are these freeze-dried. These are not dehydrated, but these are freeze-dried banana slices. And so these are also really fun for travel, and they're also fun for bike riding. They're great for hiking, and they're just like, having a banana with you, but they have a little bit of crunch to them, and they're sweet and satisfying. And these, Trader Joe's also has a mango, a dehydrated these are freeze-dried mangoes. These happen to be from Target. I was in Target one day and I saw that they also had them. And so these are fun little snacks, the bananas and the little mangoes, the freeze-dried mangoes. These are really fun for kids. Like our granddaughter, Little Sweet Pea, really enjoys these. These are a fun little snack. And then another fun thing that Trader Joe's has are these freeze-dried seedless grapes. Oh my gosh, they're intensely sweet and crunchy. And some people that I've shared them with have said, oh my gosh, those are totally addicting. They can eat the whole bag at once. They're just kind of a fun thing to have. I wouldn't eat them every day. I wouldn't make them a regular part of my diet. But when we're traveling, we take some things with us that we maybe normally wouldn't eat at home. And these are really fun. So like if you're out and you can't get a dessert that's healthy, you have these in the car or in the hotel room or the Airbnb when you go back, and you can have a nice compliant little sweet treat. So those are just kind of a fun thing to have. So when you travel by air, you can also take food with you. You just have to be a little more careful. So, you have the limit on the 3 ounces of liquid. So if you have the vinegar or salad dressing or hummus mixed into your salad that you take on, TSA will let it through. If it's in a container, then you're going to be limited by the 3 ounces. And some people have told me that they've been able to get through TSA with fresh hummus, and other people have had it confiscated. So what I do is I freeze it. So I make my own hummus, I put it in a small travel container, and then I will freeze it. And as long as it's frozen, it will go through. Also, the same is true with the little blue cooler packs. If these are frozen, TSA will let them go through. If they have thawed out, they will confiscate them. So when you are returning from your destination, you want to make sure that you have frozen these again. in order to take them on carry-on. And if they're thawed out, toss them in your suitcase. Otherwise, they're going to take them. But, you know, if you buy inexpensive ones, like at the 99-cent store, then, you know, I guess it's not that big of a deal if they confiscate it. Also, like, well, I'll take salad, I'll take veggie burgers. They can be frozen. And if you have some frozen things in with the things that are not frozen, then they kind of act like your little coolers.
The cold is just pouring off of these right now.
Right.
It's freezing my hand.
And so you don't have to worry about how you're going to keep things cold. And so I'll take things like grapes and raw veggies, and I'll take my frozen hummus, and then it will thaw out and I'll be able to use it. I know that some people, and I haven't done this yet, but some people will dehydrate their hummus. They'll make their homemade hummus, spread it out on their Teflex sheets for their dehydrator, and then they'll dehydrate it, break it up, put it into containers, and then all you have to do is add a little bit of water to it to reconstitute it. And you can do that on the plane, you can do it at your destination, and then you can have your hummus. That's kind of a cool thing. I need to try that. You can also do it if you make your own lentil soup or chili or whatever. You could dehydrate that as well, and then take it in bags with you and reconstitute it. Yes.
Linda is asking if we will ever be having a show on cooking with tofu.
Probably not, because I very rarely eat tofu. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly healthy. It's a great addition to a plant-based lifestyle. Tom eats some tofu, and occasionally I'll make a recipe with it if we're entertaining or have family. It's just a little bit higher fat food for me, so not something that I use a lot of, or you know, I just, because it'll cause me to gain weight quite easily. But it's perfectly healthy and delicious, and if you Google it, there's tons of recipes on the internet for tofu. But I just make, there's just a couple things that I make that use it, and I reserve those recipes usually for entertaining, or if the family's coming over, they have there's a couple recipes that they like. So like, well, I should just tell you, one is a lasagna recipe from Fat Free Vegan Kitchen. It's a real simple, easy lasagna recipe. I think there's two of them actually. There's one that uses noodles and one that uses polenta. And I've actually made the polenta one for a catering job, and the people loved it. So that's Fat Free Vegan Kitchen has those. Excuse me. So you can have groceries delivered to your hotel room or your Airbnb with all the home delivery grocery services that there are now. That's another option when you get to your destination, is to go online, order your stuff, designate when you want it delivered, and they'll deliver it. I have friends who have done that even when they're staying like in a hotel room. They'll have groceries delivered.
There was a comment earlier about someone, and it's up in the thread somewhere, when they have a hard time when they go to a resort hotel where you're in that one place for a while, getting whole food plant-based food or having food options in a resort hotel. You know, I think some of this stuff in the pressure cooker, we do cook on our hotel room and forego what's in the hotel restaurants. So
yeah, but if you're staying in a high-end resort like that, one thing that you can do is call ahead and talk to them, ask to talk to someone in the kitchen, ask to talk to one of the lead chefs, and just tell them, you know, I'm on a special diet, this is what my parameters are, can you help me? Because our friend Shada goes to resorts, and that's what she does. She eats exactly like I do, and Tom, and that's what she does. She, you know, when she gets there, she just goes in and talks to him and tells him, hey, you know, in a really nice way. She, you know, has a lovely personality, and she'll just say, you know, this is how I eat, you know, can you accommodate me? Can you make me some stuff? And you know what? They go out of their way to make her beautiful food. And you follow her on Facebook, Healthy Cooking with Shada. And she has a great Facebook page and a YouTube channel. And if you live in Southern California, she does in-home cooking classes in her home, and the next one that she has coming up, I've just lost what it was. Do you remember what it was?
I don't.
Tamales, vegan tamales, and it'll be amazing.
She's got amazing flavor profiles. If we lived closer, we would be going there to
I would take her classes.
Expand our horizons.
Yeah, I would absolutely take her classes, and she does Persian food and Mexican food.
So people can find her that are in the Los Angeles area by
Orange County. Yeah.
Searching what?
So she has a Facebook page, Healthy Cooking with Shayda, Shayda.
Yeah.
So look her up. She's a really good friend of mine. We'll be seeing her next week, so we're very excited. So if you're staying in a hotel room, you can still do it. You do all the same things that you would do if you were on a road trip. You can take food with you. If you're flying, of course, you're not going to be able to take as much food with you, but you can pack some of these packs of things you can put in your suitcase if you have room. Now, here's another option. This is a company called Mama Sezz. And Mama Sezz, can you see it? It's
freezing.
These are out of our freezer. And Mama Sezz has a whole line of whole food plant-based foods that you can order. And she has an SOS free, salt, oil, sugar free line as well. She has a Chef AJ line.
The sticker's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, the sticker, Chef
AJ's
AJ's sticker is right on here. And you can order these. They come to you fresh. They're not frozen. And they're beautifully packaged, and they'll arrive nice and cold for you. And then you can keep them in your refrigerator. They have a long life in the refrigerator, a good week. Or you can go ahead and freeze them. And we ordered them and we froze them. And they're absolutely delicious. They taste homemade. They're amazing. We decided to do an affiliate with them. And
I've got that posted.
You've got it posted. In October, I will be going to visit my parents in Nebraska, and so I'm going to order some of these and have them shipped to my parents' home. That way my food will all be taken care of. All I'll have to do for my main meals, all I'll have to do is add some salads and some fresh vegetables. And so, it's super simple, easy way to do it. And I think also for travel, if you ordered these and then froze them, these would be great. I mean, Tom was saying today, you could probably just take some out of our freezer, put them in your suitcase, and they would stay frozen because my flight is only like 5 hours. And so they would probably stay frozen. You're going to go put them back?
They'll keep, because they're freezing my hand. They're cold.
Yeah, so they're a wide variety of different flavors
Marinara
of
sauce,
things.
quinoa stack, which with a bunch of different.
Yeah, and they have Mediterranean flavors.
Millie's chili.
I mean, I'll be eating like a queen.
Chickpea mushrooms too. I bet that's good.
Yeah. So that's great.
Okay.
So I think that pretty much takes care of it. I'm just going to wrap up, Tom.
Okay.
So thank you so much. If you have ideas for us for our Tuesdays with Tami, you can write to us at Tami@Nutmeg Notebook or Tom@nutmegnotebook.com. And we will appreciate getting your suggestions and ideas for topics for future Tuesdays with Tami and sometimes Tom. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you liked it enough to share it on Facebook with your friends, we would really appreciate that, or in any whole food plant-based groups that you belong to pass it forward. If you would subscribe and click on the bell icon that's next to the subscribe. That way, every time we go live or have a new video, you'll get a notification on that.
Yeah, thank you, Kay, for sharing with the I Thrive group. I saw that comment.
Oh, thank you. And then make sure you go to the blog, nutmegnotebook.com. We have hundreds of recipes there that we have yet to make videos for, but there's such a wide variety of recipes and weight loss information. If you live in the Sacramento area of California, we are starting some weight loss classes that we will be teaching in our home. They're going to be 4-week-long classes. We have one starting in September, and we will have another one in January of the new year. So you can find out more about that on the blog at nutmegnotebook.com. There is a whole blog post about it. I've been posting about it on Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people are asking me, what do you eat in a day? Look at my Nutmeg Notebook Instagram account as well as my Nutmeg Notebook Facebook account, because several times a week I take pictures and document what I eat for an entire day, and I give you an in-depth description. If there's a recipe link, I give you the recipe link so you can duplicate it if you wish. And we want to thank you guys so much for watching and hanging in here for almost an hour
Somebody
and a
ran
half.
overtime. Who did that?
We did run overtime. It happens. I have a lot to say, and it's hard to cram it all into a short amount of time. Even when I was
She's
little.
talking fast to me. I
I
hope she's not talking too fast for you. But
even when I was little, the only thing I would get in trouble for at school was talking too much. Imagine that. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I'm Tammy.
I'm Tom.
And we help you
Get healthy and stay healthy, one meal at a time. Bye-bye.
Bye.